Hi guys, today I'm outside on my patio, so you might hear some ambient noise around. Can't help that, but I wanted to make some DIY alcohol inks today. And to do this, you need 91% alcohol. It's important to have the higher content of alcohol. And then the next thing you need are the permanent markers. I picked up these from Office Depot. And the third thing you'll need is a container. So I got these at either was Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I can't remember which one. So to do this is really easy. You're going to take the marker and you want some needle nose pliers, and you're just simply going to pull out the tip with the plier, and it pulls out pretty easily. And you may want to use gloves to do that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to live on the edge. Okay, and if you're getting these Office Depot markers, then I'm just going to pull out this bottom part because there's a long tube of ink in there too. Okay, just so what I did is I pushed like this, and then it pops right open like that. And then what you're going to see is a long tube like this. And it's wrapped in plastic, and what you could do is you could cut off the plastic part, but I'm pretty lazy, so I'm just going to stick it in there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the alcohol ink into the bottle. And I'm just going to go about halfway because I want it deeply saturated. And alcohol inks, you don't need a whole lot when you're doing a project. So I decided to make my own colors because you can get different color variations if you do it this way. I bought a bunch from the Tim Holtz collection, but I wanted different colors, so I'm going in the sun so you could see the colors are already starting to come out, and that's what we want. And I'll just give it some time before I use it, and then I'll do a demo. Okay, so 24 hours later, this is what the alcohol inks look like. Look how deeply saturated they are. So this one was the one I was showing you how to make the alcohol, and this one, even though it looks purple, it's really like a cornflower blue, really pretty. Okay, so let's get started on the project. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna do a mug today, and my friend saw this tumbler that I made on Instagram using the alcohol inks, and he loved it, so he asked me to make him something. So I'm spraying this down with rubbing alcohol because you don't want any oils on it, and wear gloves. The alcohol inks will work on any shiny, glossy finish. I have done it on a matte acrylic, but it flows best when it's a shiny surface. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the alcohol ink and I'm just going to drip it and kind of like let it do its thing. Just kind of let it flow where it wants to flow. And I'm going to go for like a watercolor effect, and you could start seeing it spreading out. And that's what's cool about these watercolor inks, is they have a nice flow to it. It just kind of does its thing, and it kind of reminds me of watercolor, but it's more saturated. That's that cornflower blue. All right, I gotta go figure out another color that I want on this. So I'm gonna do at least 3 colors. Okay, so I'm gonna try this denim color. Isn't this cool how it turned out so far? So I'm gonna do a darker blue. Now what's cool, really cool about these is if you didn't like something, well, let's say you hated your whole mug, you can just wipe it down with alcohol. Also, if you get it on your hands, you can just wipe it down with the alcohol and it will come out. So it's kind of like fluid art. I don't want it to look like a letter. I want it to be more freeform. So I'm just kind of moving the cup around. I think I'll throw some of this lighter blue in here. Get that going. There we go. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty, isn't it? I love it. Oh, really pretty. Okay, I'm gonna finish this up and we'll come back and you can... Okay, so here's how it turned out. And as you could tell, I modified it since the beginning because I decided to put masking on it. This is just washi tape. You could use painter's tape, electrical tape, anything. And that way, I wasn't sure about whether it was a good idea for his lips to be touching the part where I'm going to be putting the sealant. Now, speaking of sealants, you have to seal this, otherwise it will come off eventually. So what I did was I sprayed it 3 times with triple thick. I'm gonna go and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I've got some spots where the washi tape leaked, not a problem. I can just come in with a paper towel that I saturate with rubbing alcohol. You could use either a paper towel or a cotton swab. And with the alcohol, it'll just rub right off. This is a great way of getting it off your hands too. You just have to be really careful when you get to the part that you don't want to rub off. But you could see that it comes off. There you go. Good as new. So I will continue to do that for the rest of the month. Okay, so the first sealant you want to use is this Krylon Triple Thick Clear Glaze. I did 3 coats and I let it dry at least 5 minutes in between coats. The directions say do spray 10 to 12 inches away and make sure you're doing an even coat of it. And the reason why you want to use this is because if you were to put the final sealant, which is the Mod Podge, over it, what will happen is your colors start to run. There's something in the Mod Podge that does something, and then the colors are going to run and it's going to be a big mess. That's why I had to redo mine. So do this. I'm going to let it dry 24 hours and then I'm going to apply the Mod Podge. So here's the Mod Podge. This one is the dishwasher safe, top rack only. And I'm going to go ahead and apply this later on, like I said earlier, 24 hours after my cup has dried. And this will then preserve it so that he can wash it and it'll be good. Okay, so here's what it looks like. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Isn't it cool looking? And you saw how easy it was to make, so do this with the kids. They would love this. Such an easy thing, and it's quick. And people would love to get something like this. Well, I appreciate you watching my videos as always, and for those of you who've subscribed, a big, huge thank you. I just saw that there were 5,000 of you, and I have for real. Really, I feel like it's super positive, and the comments are always kind and helpful, and I appreciate that. I learn from you guys too, so feel free to chime in, and if you haven't subscribed, come join the fun so that you can always be aware of what the latest videos are. Well, until next time, take care, and remember, life after 40 is good, but more importantly, so are you.